is good, everybody? Welcome to Team COG. This is Charles here, and I'm coming at you guys here with my 6th place Infernoble Knight deck profile from the Remote Duel Invitational that I participated in this previous weekend. So yeah, guys, I took this, as you guys know, if you guys have been on my live streams, been testing this deck, we ended up taking it to the Invitational, ended up getting top 6, and then at the end of Swiss, before they cut the top 8, I was in 3rd place, and then we broke up into top 8. Lost my first round to the guy who ended up winning the whole thing, who was on Drytrons. And yeah, nothing more has really changed. I'm more so just going into detail about my list and stuff like that. You know, the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So I was just having very good success with this list, and the only tweaking I think I needed was in the side deck, which I'll get to when we get there. But without further ado, before I continue on into this deck profile, please remember, guys, if you guys want to help support the channel, you can do so by checking out the links down in the description below. You can also become a member, which helps to support the channel, and also just hit that notification bell and stay tuned for when I go live. I go live here on YouTube almost once a week. This week was a little bit different. I had some more prior obligations come up, so it wasn't able to happen this week, but at least every week I try to go live once or twice. And by just supporting the crusade, you know, you support me here. So yeah, without further ado, guys, we'll just quickly jump into the deck profile and go ahead. We are playing 3 Renaud. So guys, like, this is something that's very interesting. Also, before I continue on, if you guys like any sort of the sleeves or anything you're saying, check out our sponsor down below, Ultra Pro. They finally reached out to me and got a hold of me, and yeah, we're sponsored by them. Use my link down below to get, you know, to receive some kickback to the channel and all that fine stuff. So 3 Renaud. This card is, like, I don't understand why people play any less. This card is the best card to play through Nibiru and play through hand traps. I think it's utterly insane to play anything less than 3 of this, personally. But again, it's up to, you know, player preference. But 3 Renaud, and then 3 Oliver. Oliver here is remarkable. He is the best extender we have. Most notably, like, I would say my list is more so like a Turbo Dolphin list, if you want to call it that, in the sense of that you're always trying to turbo out Dolphin. So, like, if you see Oliver in your opening hand along with 2 warriors, you're summoning Dolphin off of his old, and then you're trying to look at the hand. And that was the ability I had to play through so many boards, etc. You know, like playing going first. Just having the ability to see the hand traps was really remarkable, and just opening this card is really good. It's also pretty good for the pitch effect to summon from the hand. The ability to equip itself is also really good to make whatever it's equipped to untargetable, which allows you to play around like impermanent stuff on your Isolde. If you see they have that, and like, so you can like equip Oliver to Isolde to make sure Isolde resolves and stuff like that. That's pretty good. Moving on for the final 2 Infernobles, Ogier and Astolfo. These cards definitely deserved a rarity bump in the Mega 10s, but we didn't get it for whatever reason. But this card right here is the best Infernoble normal summon, I would say, that we have. Normal summon, Foolish Burial. He's part of the 2-card combo where you can establish a gear free before your 5th, and it's just, you know, it's really good. Astolfo in here is because, like, I'm not against it, but I prefer to play Fire Warriors because they work better with Renaud here instead of like the Armageddon Knight, the Phantom Knight stuff. So I prefer to play like Astolfo, just because it is the ability to like if you can hold your normal summon, that's really important, right? So like Astolfo can special summon itself out, and then you have the ability to normal in worst case scenario. And the only thing it does is it extends. It's not a starter, but is an extender, etc. OG, like I said, he can equip as well to give the monsters that can't be destroyed by card effects, so he's pretty cool. But this card does come up in the grind game. Like, sometimes, like, if you're really fighting for your life, you can banish this and then bring back out a Gear Freed, which did not come up in the Invitational, but has come up in some of my testing and stuff like that. But yeah, so that is it for the Infernobles. Like I said, there's just this 8 lineup here. I wish we had better ones, but this is what we have currently. Like I said, these 2 definitely, like, probably even these 5 here deserved a rarity upgrade, but Konami decided to not give us it. But anyway, I wouldn't change anything less than this. I think you have to play 3 of 3, and then you don't have to play Astolfo. It's definitely a flex spot. You could play whatever you truly want in terms of, but I'm all gas, no brakes, which I actually believe Infernoble should be played. And yeah, moving forward, we are on to the triple red layer. So triple red layer here, he is the best starter, and the reason I call him a starter is he's the first thing you have to do. You special summon him, and that's the first thing you do. He's 1/2 of his old, which is really important. There's actually, if you guys have not checked my Playing With Your Bricks video, which I highly recommend doing, red layer plus Oliver is like a Charles, which is really good because it allows you to play into back row, because you just go special red, normal Oliver, make Charles, Oliver equipped to Charles, then you get to pop it, and if they do not respect that or they don't have the answer to it, Charles will destroy a card and then can't be targeted, which is crazy. You already have your Charles set up before you combo on. Moving on, double Flint Lady. The reason we're playing 2 Flint Lady is because I really want to play a third one, but I just couldn't find the reason to play 3 because it is a once per turn. But there's just so many different utilities this card has, having the ability to summon itself out, then tribute itself to summon one of the cards from hand. Like sometimes like you'll normal summon Connector and they will end up ashing the Connector even though you've already opened Dolphin. So you just special the Flint Lady, use Flint Lady's effect to summon out the Dolphin from hand and you still Dolphin your opponent, which is really cool. Another thing is like if you do happen to like if you're forced to go through the combo line with Gimba and you open the Gimba and you need to get Gimba out of your hand, you just summon the Fire Flint Lady, then tribute to summon the Gimba from your hand. Pretty easy to play around those type of scenarios. Speaking of the Gimba, we do have the one Gimba right here. It's just some combo lines need it. The level 2 comes up. I prefer this over Plague Spreader because if you open Plague Spreader and that's like, and you have to normal summon the Plague Spreader, you can't do anything. Whereas if I open Gimba and I open Renaud at the bare minimum, I can still combo off because Gimba's a Fire Warrior. Double Gearfried. I bounce between 1 and 3 and 2 of this like constantly, but I can 100% tell you 2 is the correct ratio no matter what. 1's too little and 3 is too many. 3 you brick too much, 1 you don't see enough, but this is like the perfect ratio to out Dragoons. And since the ban list came through and didn't touch anything like that, you need to have the Gearfried to be able to beat back a Dragoon. And in simplified game states, Gearfried can be a whoop down too. However, I have nothing bad to say about Gearfried actually. Like the card is remarkable. Play 2 of it, guys. If you want to see it more, play 3, but I do not recommend playing 1. 1's too little, even though you have like high access to this card because of the consistency the deck has to see like Ogier, Renaud, and stuff like that. Like that combo line is very accessible. However, I recommend just playing it so you just can hard open it just to have it. Like it does not even hurt smacking this card down to finish your board and then adding one for a follow-up in case your board gets outed. It's definitely just, it's a remarkable card, guys. That is it for, that's all the Fire Warriors we play. And then moving on into like the non-Fire Warriors, which I don't believe there's only 4 of them. We're on to 3 Connector, the best normal summon in the deck. And then, of course, to round off that package, 1 Dolphin. So this right here is remarkable. So if Maxi did coincidentally go to 3, I was fully prepared to cut these guys out and play triple Dolphin. And then like cut Red Layer, or no, keep Red Layer and stuff like that and just play more extenders. So like the Dolphin normal summon, you just could rip Maxi out right away. But anyway, we don't have to worry about that because Maxi didn't come back. But Connector and Dolphin are really important. In fact, anytime, any hand I did not see Connector or Dolphin, you just tutor it out of the extra deck with his Zold. And then you get to look at the hand, play freely and stuff like that, which is really crazy. I would say that's what this deck's biggest advantage is compared to the other meta decks such as Drytron and stuff, is because we get the ability to see the hand and play around it. There is so many different lines of combos where if you open like Oliver, Renaud, or something like that, you have the ability to set up Herald before you even commit to your Isolde play, which stops Nibiru in case you don't open the Gearfried combo line. It stops Inperm in case they have it and stuff like that. It's just really solid. And it's, like I said, the best normal summon in the deck is hands down Connector. The 2 bricks of the deck, this is a pseudo brick. If you open this, it's not the end of the world because Hulk summons from hand or deck, which is great. This card right here is not too bad opening. You don't want to open it, but it's not the end of the world if you do. You just have to find some way to pitch it to the graveyard. And there are ways to combo when you straight open it and the opponent does not let you pitch it. You just practically, the entire game is then on the Auroradon's back, which, I mean, Auroradon alone can still get you to Savage plus a Herald, which those 2 interruptions can win games by themselves. But yeah, these are probably the 2 non-warrior but 2 machines like you need to play in the deck. Moving on to the spells, we are rocking Triple Chalice. This did come up in the Invitational. They whacked over my Charles for battle damage, and then I just added this back, searched Renaud. Renaud got me DDR, and then just brought right back the Charles, and it was pretty good. But anyway, here's Chalice. Rhoda searches any Noble Knight or Noble Arms. You got to play 3 of it. Triple Durandal. Durandal here is another search card, but again, got to play 3 of it because it searches out all of your Fire Warriors, which is necessary for a lot of combo lines and stuff like that. For the 1 of equip spells, 1 Metal Silver, and 1 Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, and 1 Living Fossil. So the reason you play this is because this right here is slept on. I can't believe people think this is a bad card. Okay, it's a win more card. Apollos is a win more card. This card straight up shuts out anything from targeting, and it's not a brick because if you do happen to open it, you can pitch it for Dolphin. You can pitch it for Oliver here, wherever he's at. Yeah, you can pitch it for Oliver to be able to get it out of your hand to the graveyard. Like I said, you normally send Metal Silver and Phoenix Blade for the Gimba combo lines, and then you send Silver Armor, Living Fossil, and then DDR for the like Oliver combo lines. Living Fossil here because it's a hard once per turn. You don't want to open multiples of this. That's why we are playing double different DDRs. Probably, like I said, the flex spot is definitely where is he at? Astolfo here. So you could probably play another DDR instead of an Astolfo. I just don't play 2 power tools. I think 2 power tools is unnecessary. So like just playing this ratio here works pretty well with me, because normally if you send these 2, you do have the ability to reveal these 3 for power tool, which is the same thing, practically resolves the combo the same way. The only time is when you're forced to like resolve the combo differently, which does come up quite a bit, to where you have to reveal like 2 DDR and then like another Durandal, in which case you have a more than like a 75% chance to get the other 2 than the Durandal. But anyway, that's it for the equip spells that I was playing. Like I said, I probably would up DDR to 3 if I had the ability to fit it in. But this right here, just like playing the 2 just means like I have a DDR always live, if that makes sense. Like my Isolde's always live, even if I open X amount of like equip spells. This just like was the safest number to make sure that my Isolde would always resolve. You know, mathematics and stuff, you know, something that I'm awful at. Triple Dark Ruler no more. So this card actually underperformed. I would prefer this card to be Tactics, because almost anytime I saw this card, it was when I was going first. So I just pitched it off a Dolphin, got out of my hand. If it was Tactics, I would have held on to it. And Tactics is just overall better. You can just manipulate your opponent to hand trap you, and then you can just draw 2, rip another card from their hand. Like, Tactics is just better. I just thought going up against, I mean, like, I did go against Drytron and Tri-Brigade and stuff like that, but I never saw Dark Ruler no more, sadly. It's just, it was one of those, like, variant sort of things. Like, since this card would have been great if I saw it when I played against him, but I sadly didn't, so the card was non-existent in a way, you know. But I don't know. You have to play some sort of board breaker. I don't recommend playing hand traps. I do not support playing Crossout Designator in this deck, because yes, the deck is consistent, but you're already playing a lot of pseudo bricks in the deck, and considering like these 2 are pseudo bricks, they work with your engine, but you don't want to open them. Same with Despot and Auroradon, or not Despot and Coltwing, and then you know, etc., etc. You're playing like a lot of pseudo bricks. So by playing Crossout Designator, you have to incorporate hand traps. You're playing a lot more hand traps to subligate for the Crossout Designator, which means you're going to open a handful of hand traps and not even be able to combo. So I do not believe Designator is needed in this deck. I think Triple Tactic Talent is the best card you could play, or play Dark Ruler no more. One of the 2. These, I mean, like, these cards just break backs, right? Moving on to the busted one-ofs. 1 Rhoda, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Call by the Grave, and 1 Titty Twister. So the reason I play Titty Twister, all these are pretty self-explanatory. Titty Twister used to be Harpy's Feather Duster until Imperial Order started seeing more play in the format. And then I took Pack's advice when he was playing Prank Kids and won the YCS. So I was like, I need to play 1 chainable quick play spell, because if I draw Harpy's Feather Duster and they flip over Imperial Order, I lose. If I happen to draw Titty Twisters, and then since you play Durandals, Chalices, like you play so many spells that as soon as they decide to shotgun off that Imperial Order, you can then chain the Titty Twisters here to just get rid of it. Whereas Harpy's Feather Duster, you would just lose anyway. I do think Monster Reborn should be brought up. This card really overperformed. I got hand trapped in 2 games twice, and was just able to Monster Reborn back their Ash to be able to combo into Hulk, which was pretty cool. For the final card in the deck, 1 Shade Brigadine. So I know I said I'm not a big fan of the Phantom Knights. This is the only Phantom Knight card I actually play, and to be honest with you, this is the only trap card that I support any deck playing. This card is just really good for the ability to set and activate. Just another form of extension that you can play. If you don't want to play the trap, there's been like very few problems with this card, simply because it doesn't work with Phoenix Blade. So like sometimes like your only 2 warriors is this plus like Red Layer, and you make your Isolde, you have to banish 2, and you don't have a second warrior because you use Shade Brigadine. But the card's just really good. Since I do play Dweller in my extra deck, it's just something you can hold on to and have for like the end of the combo. You can set and activate to summon, and then you can overlay with Coltwing in this to make Dweller. That is just something pretty good, like right there. But this is 40 card deck list. It performed remarkable, guys. Like I said, the only cards that really underperformed was Dark Ruler no more. But again, that was simply because I didn't see him when I needed to. But I highly would play Tactics instead of Dark Ruler. Cards that overperformed was DDR. That's why I want to play a 3rd one, which of course, if I want to play a 3rd one, all I have to do is cut out either Shade Brigadine or the Astolfo for. It's just, I like them both, and I really like 2 at the moment. I haven't seen like the hardcore desire to play 3 DDR. However, like it would probably be something like if you gave me the option to change right now, and I were to tell you what my first change would be if I wanted to, it'd be playing 3 DDR. But yep, guys, that is it for the main deck. We'll move on here to the extra deck. The extra deck has stayed the same. We're still rocking double Isolde, 1 Hulk, Unicorn, Auroradon, and Access Code. This is what I played forever, and the reason why I like this is because you need 2 Isolde, 1 in case your first Isolde gets stopped, And then the second one is also for you to combo back up into like, because when you go through your combo, this is what happens, right? You use these 3 right here, and then you have these 3 still left in your deck, right? So they out your entire board. You have Gear Feed for the follow-up. You make Isolde again, go into Unicorn, go up into Access Code, summon Gear Feed, that's 83 damage. And you're going to swing directly because you're solving almost 4 cards with these right here. So that's why I like playing this ratio, because I think Access Code is too broken. I know some people have started moving to the, what's it called, Draco Sack variant, and I'm not a fan of that. You practically use your entire extra deck with no follow-up, and then if they happen to out your board, it's game over. Whereas in my list right here, if they out my board, I have a follow-up in the sense of Isolde, Nightmare Unicorn, and Access Code. And then like you have Gear Feed touching down, and then if you go like Isolde can grab back DDR, you then bring back Charles, so you're able to apply a lot more pressure in that turn 3 scenario. Whereas if they completely out your board in the Draco Sack variant, you're just kind of, you're done for. But that is just my opinion. Again, guys, this worked for me this weekend, so the only thing I can tell you is that, yeah, it worked for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but you can't tell me I'm wrong because it got me 6th place in a way, you know? But for my 2 favorite Synchros in the entire deck, myself in card form, and then Roland. If these 2 cards did not exist, I would probably not play this deck, but these guys are remarkable. In fact, like, people, you know, like, people, I mean, in a way, they're right? Charles alone cannot win you a game, is what people will say. Charles and Herald alone cannot win you a game. You know, like, 2 interruptions can't win you a game, but guys, I straight up won 2 out of my games by just Charles by himself. Like, this card right here, like, it can win you games. Like, people are wrong when they tell you that. Like, if people are going to be like, okay, like, 1 Herald can't win you a game. Well, if the opponent's hand is unplayable, and all you have to do is negate 1 card, Herald can win you a game. If the opponent's hand is kind of mediocre, and the Charles lock is just enough to lock them out from playing the game, Charles can win you a game. They need their normal summon to resolve, and all you have is Charles and Roland, and you equipped Roland and destroy the normal summon, Charles can win you a game. These cards right here are remarkable and tangent with each other. This is why I enjoy playing this deck so much, is because of the synchro lines and what you do. It really makes your brain work a lot, and I enjoy decks that make you think a lot, so... yeah, these guys were remarkable. Roland, what Roland gives this deck longevity, which is incredibly important. For 7, Shooting Riser and Power Tool. We only play 1 Power Tool, and through the standard combo line that I go through, you only need 1 Power Tool. You don't need 2. If you want to, that's part of the reason why I don't want to play 3 DDR, because if I'm going to play 3 DDR, I might as well play 2 Power Tool, because then I get to grab the other DDR throughout my combo. But I just, in the straight combo line that I go through, I don't have the extra space in my extra deck to make a Power Tool, and I don't see the benefit of making a second Power Tool when 1 Power Tool is just enough, in my opinion. But to each their own, everyone's opinion is fine, I'm sure. But yep, Shooting Riser is part of the combo. You send sometimes you'll send a Quantum Red Layer. Red Layer gives subtracts this, makes it a 2, and then you just 2 and 3 make Roland, then you just start going through like the combo line that way. But yep, that's it for the 7s. For the 4s, we're rocking Balmug and Herald. You could potentially play 2 Heralds in this list, but I chose not to. But I chose to play Dweller because Dweller can just completely blow out the certain matchups, you know. But Underworld Fighter Balmug, he is just part of the combo. And then so like, not only, guys, is he part of the combo, this guy is huge. He's a 2100 beat stick. So by all means, in some simplified game states, when you're just able to push through a lot, I cannot express you guys. Like, I played through Ash, Imperm, and Strike, and was still able to go full combo. Just sometimes you pushing through all this interruption, your opponent's now like Oonga Boonga Monkey, and you summon this guy, which is a 2100 beat stick. You're the biggest Oonga Boonga out there, and you just start poking for 21. You can win. But Herald's really important because you can make him under the fist summon. You can make him when you see Imperm in the hand. And in most cases is if you do that combo line, you're just going to unlike Herald and Charles, but they're always going to do something to force the Herald because they don't want Herald to be stuck out there. So if they force the Herald, you end on Charles and Savage. It's really cool. But now on for the level 8s, Cypher Lone Omega, and Borreload Savage Dragon. Just part of the ending field. This card right here is remarkable. You practically loop your opponent's hand with Dolphin. You then can go into Omega, and then some hands and some combo lines you can rip 2 with Omega. So then you just have the ability to rip non-monster cards like if they have droplets, you're either going to try and rip the droplets or rip more cards to where their droplets is rendered useless. If they have Dark Ruler no more, you're just going to try and rip the Dark Ruler no more. out of their hand, and it's just remarkable for like the hand ripping and stuff like that. That's one thing like this deck gives us, is the ability to practically rip out any hand trap with Dolphin, but we don't really have a way, since Smoke Grenade is banned, to rip out, you know, the big impactful cards. So that's where Cypher and Lone Omega comes up, allowing us to snipe pieces and stuff like that, which is really cool. So most normally you're only going to get 3 cards out of your opponent's hand, but that means they're starting their turn with 3 cards in hand, you know. So like they're going to draw, they're going to have 3 cards in hand, they're going to have to play through an Omni Negate and a Charles Pop, which is pretty rough. For the last card is going to be Dweller. Dweller here, you just have the ability to end on make it, depending on your ending board. You can make this. If you don't want to play Dweller, you can play a second Herald, which you know, in the same sense does the same way. My only issue was that a lot of people forget that you can just out Herald by just going battle phase and attacking over it. But most cases, that's where Charles here comes in line. Charles just protects the Herald. But like, I wanted another card to completely shut off a graveyard. Completely. I didn't want to like stand by face, fire off Dweller, and then not have to worry about a graveyard. And that's what it allowed us to do. But you could play a second Herald if you wanted to. It was just my choice to play Dweller, because at the end of my combo, you can either Syncro for Omega, or you can make Dweller practically. And I chose to have the versatility and the option to be able to make either or depending on the situation. Because if I see my opponent's hand, I know they don't got nothing. I know they're playing, like, for example, Shadal's. There's no point in me banishing the cards left in their hand to make Omega. I just go ahead and make Dweller, and then pass it over to them, extend the handshake, and then go on from there. That is it for my extra deck. Of course, you know, my 3 tokens. I'm a huge World Legacy fan. So, moving on to my side deck, we are playing 3 Judgment. Sided this in for when I was going into Game 3, going first, just to stop blowout cards. And then, of course, like, if you open kind of subpar, it allows you to, you know, at least stall your opponent out for a pretty good turn. Triple Droll. This is the card that I put in my my side deck. Thank goodness I did. Well, it goes into Drytron. And like I didn't get a chance to use it against my Drytron matches. I didn't see it one time, and when I did see it, I was already solid for game. Not much more can be said against this card. This card just shuts him out pretty good. Moving on, we're playing 3, the other 2 Tweety Twisters, and then the RP's Feather Duster. This is just for back row removal. This normally went in when I knew I was going against like some control-heavy matchup. For instance, I played against Altergeist as my final round in Swiss, and I ended up drawing into RP's Feather Duster, and it was GG after that. But yeah, you got to play quick play removal, hands down. Probably if it was up to me, what I would do is maybe when Imperial Order finally gets hit or falls off the list a little bit, I'll maybe look to play Lightning Storms. But man, you got to play something that you can chain to that card, man. So that's why we'll still play the Titty Twisters and the 1 Harpies. Moving on, Triple Lancia. This card is a blowout against Tri-Brigade. It completely shuts their whole turn down. My advice is just wait for them to commit a lot and then fire it off. But when that happened to me, I fired this off. I had 0 warriors in my hand. In fact, I bricked on a bunch of equip spells, which is another reason why I don't think you need to play more equip spells in the deck, because I play as almost bare bone minimum, and I did brick on them, so I don't see a reason to put in 1 or excessively more. So like if you fire this off, you have the ability to stop Tri-Brigade in their tracks, but better have a follow-up. I sadly did not. But this card is just remarkable. Shuts down Tri-Brigade. There's a few instances you can also play around evenly matched. I noticed some people side in evenly match against me. I know, yeah, I look at the hand, see evenly. This card is a good counter side to that as well. Moving on, Triple Nib. Poor guy who was playing Ignisters. Again, guys, this was at 1UP TCG. I normally play at Grandmasters. I have good experience with all the people at Grandmasters, and 1UP TCG has been a great place for remote duel. Highly recommend checking out Grandmasters and 1UP. But the guy at 1UP, poor guy was playing Ignisters, man, and I saw this guy in my opening hand, game 3, and he went to do Dark Templar, summoned his 3, and I was like, something was cooking for you, my man, and I showed him the rock, and we scooped it up. There is some conflict with Nib, though. If you happen to Nib him, and then your only warrior is Red Layer, it's kind of rough. So maybe I'm still trying to figure out the correct side when putting Nib in. Maybe probably side out Red Layers, or cut down on the Red Layers and siding. Maybe leave 1 or 2 and then put in the Nibiru's, because you do have some conflict when that pops up. And I had to play funky like that. So the only other option is to tribute this for Red Layer, and I don't want to do that because this card is a big beater. But yeah, guys, so that right there is the list. Not much more can be said. I had a great time. It was a great experience. Other than that, you know, like, please remember, if you guys enjoy this type of video, give me a comment down below. Don't forget to hit. Don't remember to do this. Don't forget to hit that like button. Give me a subscribe. Become a member if you want to support the channel. And without further ado, guys, please stay happy, stay healthy. This is Charles from Team COG signing out.